Today we're gonna talk microblades in our video. So I switched up the angle of filming because it is later in the day and I actually use my giant windows for natural light for lighting from this, so that's why you're seeing me in a different angle today. Let's stay on topic because I want to talk to you about microblades. So I realized by chatting with you guys, I know I'm always sliding into your DMs, that I actually have a lot of knowledge on actual microblades, and this knowledge obviously comes from creating a brand based around microblades, and I've learned a lot testing out a lot of products, making sure I'm getting the right blades for BrowTab. So I really know the breakdown of the blades and how to use them, and so I thought that I could share this knowledge. So in the microblading industry, we have two main types of blades. I believe that there are a few other blades out there, but the two main types are your curved or slant blades or your U-blades. So those are the two main types. There are lots of different sizes and diameters when it comes down to just the two different types of blades, but those are the two. The main difference is obviously the shape of the two blades. One is more of a curve and one is a U shape. It looks like the letter U if you were to hold it upside down. But the reason why we have two different blades and why I want to talk about the two different blades is that you use the blades entirely different. It's important to know before you start using one blade or the other blade that you do have to use them different. Some people are trained to start using a curved blade, some people are trained to start using a U-blade, some people get to use both in their training. There's no really right or wrong way. You have to find which blade you like best for yourself. So it's important to be able to try them out, but it's also important to know that you do use each blade differently. So before you switch from one to the other, if you've never used the other, make sure you're practicing on a practice pad before you use them on your client. A little side note on this, I say this to you guys all the time when I'm chatting with you in my DMs, but if you are buying a new box of blades of a style you haven't tried yet, shoot me a DM. I'm happy to include an extra pen in your package so that you can practice with it and you're not wasting one of your 10 blades out of your box that you paid for your clients, because I want you to be able to practice with it before you put it to your clients. Today we're going to focus on talking about U-blades and how they're different and how you use them differently than a curved blade. So when I first started in the microblading industry like 5.5 years ago, U-blades were considered an advanced blade. So we were trained with curved blades in our course. They gave us U-blades in our kit, which to me at the time, if that they're supposed to be advanced, doesn't really make sense, but that's beside the point. I was trained with a curved blade and had to kind of learn how to use a U-blade myself. A lot of people now get to be trained with a U-blade right away, which is so awesome. Some people are still learning with a curved blade. Ideally, you should learn how to use both in your course, but that doesn't always happen. So we got to figure it out for ourselves after, and that's why I'm here. So if you're someone who's used to using a U-blade, this video might not be for you, but keep watching because you might learn something that you didn't know. If you are used to using a curved blade, I'm going to kind of give you a quick rundown on how to use a U-blade and how to switch up a few things to use the U-blade properly and not follow the exact same pattern that we do when we use. So when you're using a curved blade, when you're making your stroke, you are going to be basically leaning the blade forward, putting pressure at the beginning of your stroke on the very first pin, the longest pin, and then making sure as you pull the stroke through that you are keeping all the pins touching the skin at the same time. Check out this. When using a curved blade, you want all of the pins to be touching at the same time throughout your stroke, using even pressure and even pace. So when you're using a curved blade, you're going to be making the stroke by kind of pushing your pressure forward to the longest pin, and then as you pull it through making your stroke, you want to make sure that every single one of the pins this is a 14C, so a 14 pin blade, are touching the skin throughout the entire stroke, all pins touching at the same time. The big difference when using a U blade is that you don't have that main front stroke anymore. So what we do is we use the center pin. So the center pin is technically our longest pin. If you're kind of envisioning the U blade as two curved blades put together, we're only going to use half of the U blade. So we're going to use the center pin to start our stroke, and then we're going to kind of roll the other pins through the skin to create the stroke. So the advice with the curved blade of making all the pins touch at once does not apply for a U blade. So I have a video coming up where you'll be able to see me actually making strokes with both of these blades, but it is crucial to remember, and I think you kind of could see how I was holding the pen, that you are going to be holding the pen differently as well. Not only are you using a different part of the actual blade when making your strokes, you're going to be holding your pen differently. So because with the curved blade you want all the pins touching at once throughout the stroke, it's more of a leaned back kind of pencil position. And with the U blade, because we want to start at the top and kind of pull them through, it's more of an upright position. The one thing that does stay the same whether you're using a U blade or a curved blade is that you're always going to want to keep your blade at 90 degrees to your client's skin. Whether we're holding it upright more to get that curve of the U blade, or we're leaning it in our hand a little bit more to get all pins touching at once, we always want it to be at 90 degrees. We never want to be entering the skin leaning this way or leaning this way. It always needs to be upright at 90 degrees so that you implant your pigment properly in your client's skin to get optimal healing. Check out these videos of me using both a curved blade, a 14C curved ultra nano blade, and a U blade, a 18U nano blade. So the nano blade is a 0.18 millimeter blade on these practice pads, so you can see the difference of the strokes and how the pen is being held and how the blade itself is touching the practice pad, because this is going to be how it's touching your client's skin. I hope you guys like this video. I'm going to be making a lot more content talking about microblades themselves and the actual process of microblading and making strokes. I hope this is something you guys like. If you're excited about it, like this video, save this video for the future so that if you're ever switching from one blade to another, you'll have this. And leave me a comment below for the next microblading tip that you guys want.